online chat representatives who are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at gpwlaw.com. Goldberg, Persky, and White, working lawyers for working people.
Turn off your TV, turn on your mind, and turn up that radio. It's AM Beaver County on 95.7 FM, 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and 1460 WMBA.
And now also on Facebook Live as well, as we are coming back here on AM Beaver County on a Wednesday morning. Joined in studio by Mike Rubino. He is the director for the Beaver County United Way. And Mike, good morning to you.
Good morning, Matt. Always great to be with you.
Always great to hear your voice and see your face and all the fun stuff that comes with it. And so today we're talking about an event that's coming up in a couple weeks. A big event for the United Way.
Yes, we're very glad to bring this back after a 2-year hiatus, and it's going to be our seventh annual recognition dinner for the United Way of Beaver County. And what happens at this event is we give out some awards and bring out some people who have made a major, major difference to the United Way, both on an individual level and on a company level over the last campaign year. Our campaign ends May 31st. So, folks, anybody out there that wants to help your neighbors in Beaver County and those less fortunate, you can go to our website at unitedwaybeaver.org and make a donation. Or if you'd like to attend this event at Shadow Lakes on Thursday night, June 7th at 6 o'clock, and be part of this super event, we'd love to have you. I do want to say, though, we have a capacity of 320. And as of this morning, we have 314 tickets sold. So there's
this
probably,
is your last chance.
Yeah, there's going to be a few extra tickets. A lot of the sponsors at times don't use all their tickets, so I'll be working with them over the next week or two to make sure if there's any extra tickets that they're not using that we'll be able to let the public go and come. So it is open to the public, and it's a time where we again really say thank you for the folks that have made the United Way of Beaver County a success this past year. And we want to spotlight some people in the work that they're doing.
And it's a lot of work that's being done because, as we talked about times before, the United Way is not just one thing. It is, this umbrella of organizations that are helping each other out throughout many different facets of life, whether it be shelter, financial stability, food banks, stuff like that. It's all sort of coming together. It is nice to know that they are getting recognized for this in this event.
Yes, and you understand what we do. What we do and the purpose of the United Way is really to help all the charities in Beaver County and maybe even outside of Beaver County. Because of the campaigns that we run, there'll be over 70 charities that will receive funds through the United Way of Beaver County, and charities that are national charities like the American Heart Association, the Wounded Warrior Project, Make-A-Wish. But then, of course, we focus as best as we can when money's donated just to the United Way of Beaver County to distribute that to partner agencies that are doing the work in Beaver County. And last year, over 100,000 people were touched by United Way dollars in Beaver County, and that's because of the generosity of our residents.
And just hearing that 100,000 people, were helped out through this organization is an immense thing that should not be taken for granted. And on top of that, too, it's proof that the work that's being done is being done, through the goodness of heart, through the goodness of charity. How many different organizations, as far as being a part of the United Way, are going to be part of this event coming up?
Well, as far as represented in the body of guests, you'll have dozens and dozens of charities represented there. As far as the awards, we can't give out 50 awards, so we'll be there all weekend.
Yeah.
So what we will do, we'll have 6 awards in 6 categories, and again, it's just to touch on some of them. The trick is to I don't even want to say what the trick, but the real reason we do this is to keep the mission alive, to make people understand the concept. So we go and look at companies who've made a dollar difference to us. So, for instance, we were very worried this year. One of our big campaigns every year was through Nova Chemicals. They've been a United Way supporting company for many years, but as you know, they got bought out by Styropec. And Styropec is their first purchase of a company in the United States. And you never know, with a change in culture and a change in leadership and what have you, would they still allow the local Monaca plant to participate in the United Way under Styropec? And so we were nervous, but yet they not only allowed them to participate, they continued the practice of Nova Chemical to match from the corporation every dollar that was raised by the people who work at Styropec. And so we were very blessed that because of that, Styropec and their employees, their union members, were going to be responsible for almost $60,000 of donations to United Way.
That's impressive. That's impressive because everybody worries about that sometimes. When a corporate takes over, are they going to have the same level of connection to the community as the predecessor? And in this case, it happens to be the case, which is a good sign. Now, the dinner itself, and I know this is kind of splitting hairs here, but I want to ask.
Sure.
You mentioned this is the 7th annual. Now, this is the 7th year since it started, or the 7th actual event taking place? I know you mentioned it's been a couple of years because of COVID.
It's the 7th time we got to hold the event. We did have to skip one because of COVID, and then last year we skipped it in June and made it in September. So we delayed it last year. So I've been the executive director for 8 years, and I invented this event when I came. So this is the 7th out of the 8th year that we were able to do it. And so we're very excited. One of the other awardees I want to tell you about, too, is we have what's called the New Partner Award. And usually we've spotlighted a new company that is now supporting the United Way of Beaver County. And this year, it's Gateway Rehab. And Gateway Rehab, in the past, and we're talking with a maybe delay of 5 years ago, they used to be a United Way supporting company, but they had a change in leadership 5 years ago, and they decided to step away from supporting United Way. However, they have a new leader, and this past year, and he said, we're getting back to the United Way. So we wanted to recognize them, not just for getting back to support the United Way. They're a nonprofit themselves, but yet they ran a campaign. Their employees are making donations. But the work that they do in Beaver County is so vital, Gateway Rehab, with their campus on in Center Township. And we want them to be able to tell their story, because United Way is all about telling stories of the charities, telling stories of the real heroes that are doing the work on the ground, that are helping those that are autistic, helping those, like you said, that need help with food, that need help with utilities, having those in Beaver County Cancer Heart Association, the Meals on Wheels program, the women's shelter in Beaver County, and I can go on and on and
right.
on. So it's all about telling those stories, and you need events like this and 300 people in the audience to tell that story so that they can go out and spread the word about the United Way. Every one of us knows 250 other people is sort of what they say. And so if you have 300 people going out there telling the good things about the United Way to 250 people each, and you do the multiplier, it really is what's going to make the United Way and the charities successful here in Beaver County.
And like you say, the United Way is not only about telling stories, but allowing stories to be told, because there's so many different elements to, life that the United Way supports that, without their help, who knows how many stories, don't get told. So it's a matter of, helping these people out and getting them the necessities that they need. And I know it sounds a little redundant, but, the point is that you need necessities. And all of the different charitable work that's being done, getting recognized again. It's got the club at Shadow Lakes. You said June the 7th is when it's taking place?
It is June 9th.
June 9th.
June 9th.
Okay.
It's the 7th annual on June 9th.
Okay.
It's a 6 o'clock event, and we really we try to make the event as social as possible. Of course, masks will be optional. Anybody that wants to wear a mask, feel free to do so.
Right.
We'll have them at the event. But for the first hour from 6 to 7, that's where there's networking, and the buffet is available, and people just eat and fun and have a good time. And then at 7 o'clock, we start the program, and we begin giving out the awards. And then, of course, it's culminated at the end of the awards of the unveiling of our campaign total for the year. Everybody's eager to see, did they make their $850,000 goal? And it's kind of fun as we take off the numbers one by one off of the gigantic sign, and then the reaction and the applause that happens when that big number's shown.
No spoilers on that yet, are there?
We're not allowed to say that.
Okay.
But
I didn't think so, but I figured.
Let's put it this way. It's going to be a very special night.
Okay. We're talking with Mike Rubino. He's the executive director of the Beaver County United Way, and we'll continue the conversation after the break here on AM Beaver County.
Falling Falling in love is one thing. Having anxiety about falling is a whole different subject. If you or a family member are concerned about falling, and yes, either up or down the stairs, or maybe even out of bed, St. Barnabas has a special message and some ideas just for you. Years of experience in working with people who are prone to falls has given St. Barnabas special expertise in this area. Call them at 724-443-0700 and learn about ways that you can begin to feel more confident and safe, including suggestions that you can implement right now into your daily routine. Call St. Barnabas at 724-443-0700. For many years now, St. Barnabas has been helping people fall in love, that is, with their new, better life, a longer life, a risk-free life. Call St. Barnabas now at 724-443-0700 or visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com and learn more about living longer and better.
95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with WBVP, WMBA, and BeaverCountyRadio.com, invite you to tune in to Sounds of Faith. Tune in Sunday mornings from 7 until 9 for a mix of the best sacred music of all time. Sounds of Faith is brought to you by Crawford Tire and Beaver, the William Murphy Funeral Home, City Rescue Mission, MRS Physical Therapy, Circle of Friends, J&J Spratt Funeral Home, and Rome Monument and Inspirational Gifts. Sounds of Faith, uplifting, relaxing, and inspiring radio. Sunday mornings from 7 until 9 on 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with WBVP, WMBA, and BeaverCountyRadio.com. Broadcasting globally, talking locally. AM Beaver County is on the World Wide Web at BeaverCountyRadio.com and available on the Beaver County Radio mobile app.
And we're back on AM Beaver County on this Wednesday morning. We're talking with Mike Rubino from the United Way Beaver County's 7th Annual Recognition Dinner taking place on June 9th, Thursday night at the club at Shadow Lakes. And Mike, you mentioned a couple of the awards or awardees that are going to be recognized for what they've been doing. What are some of the others that are to get recognition?
I think it's important that every year we recognize labor and the labor unions. The United Way in Beaver County has been here since 1959, and it was actually the strongest when the steel mills were running and all the union workers were participating in the United Way campaign. And one of the things, being the son of a steel worker myself, who's, my father's passed away. Matter of fact, June 9th is going to be the anniversary of his death, of my father's passing. So I have an affection for the steel workers and for the union workers. And I made a big effort when I came to make sure that they were represented on our board of directors and brought the Steel Workers Union as a member of our board. And it has definitely made a difference to the people of Beaver County, because they have worked real hard to them, along with the IBEW and some of the other unions, to not only spread the word to their union members, but to support us with union dollars from their offices. And so we're very grateful for that. Matter of fact, our presenting sponsor with a major donation for this event is the United States Steelworkers District 10, and we're very grateful for that. So this year we're going to honor the Edwin D. Hill Charitable Trust. Now, Edwin Hill, as you may or may not know, passed away a few years ago. He was the president of the International IBEW. I'm talking the world.
Right.
And he was from Beaver. And when he retired, he built a new house in Beaver, and him and his wife moved back to Beaver. And actually, I was shocked when I asked him if he would be a member of our board, that he said yes. And he unfortunately passed away while a member of our board of directors. But he brought such a gravitas to our board and was a great mentor to me. And so when he passed, there was a foundation that was set up in his name, because there were so many people who wanted to donate for his causes. And since then, his son, Ed Hill Jr., took his seat on our board, and the foundation has been distributing monies into the charities of Beaver County and through the United Way. And I think it's only fitting that we honor the Charitable Trust Foundation of Edwin Hill Sr. So.
Yeah, and on top of that, it shows that the charitable legacy that is, because whenever you get someone's son, for such a strong individual like that to come in and say, I'm willing to help you guys out too. I mean, that's a giant bonus, both spiritually and in a sense, financially as well for the United Way.
Yeah, so we're going to have a huge presence of union and labor at the dinner, and we're very grateful for that. And so I think it's just going to be very touching to honor the legacy of Edward Hill and what he's done, not as professionally. I mean, when I went over to his house in Beaver, and, we were just talking, and he brought me into his study. And to see the photos of him on the wall with world leaders,
right,
with the Pope, with presidents of countries, there's actually a street in his name down in Washington D.C. So
no kidding,
yeah.
Wow.
So then for him to come and sit on the Beaver County United Way board was I was in awe. There's no doubt I was in awe.
Yeah.
So we're grateful for that.
And on top of that too, you mentioned hard work, and that's what a lot of this takes. I mean, it's not just a matter of obviously, if, depending on what your view on communication is, making a phone call might be a little bit of a work thing, but it's going to these places, knocking on doors, making sure that the people in these organizations are, doing the right thing. And it does take a lot of hard work in order to be charitable in Beaver County, and as well as anywhere that the United Way supports.
Yeah, it does. And, people say, well, you've done so much, and I'm 50% of the full-time staff. So,
yeah,
it does take a lot of work, but it's good work. It's self-actualizing work. It's meeting people in the community, people like you that I've gotten to be, friends with that I wouldn't have done if I didn't have this position. So, very, very grateful for that. And there is a lot of hard work. One of the other awards that we give out is the Carol Ruckert Ferrucci Service Award. You may not have been here. You may be a little too young, but Carol Ferrucci used to be the Register of Wills in Beaver County. And she was so for over 20 years. And she also sat on the United Way board. And she took the responsibility every year to raise money through the county employees. And so she ran the campaign for the Beaver County Courthouse and all the people that worked there. And then was very successful, had raffles and everything of that. And then she also passed away while sitting on our board. So you may not want to sit on our board, but no. And so again, it was just appropriate that because of the service she gave to the county, because of the service that she gave to the United Way, that we created a service award in her name. And this year, the awardee for that is Julie Klein. Julie is the head of HR at Eaton. Eaton has over 400 employees here in Beaver County. And Julie has been responsible for running the campaign among those 400 employees for year after year after year. She also has given her HR duties to us at times to help us, guide us through finding employees and things of that nature. She helped us rewrite our personnel handbook and what have you. So in a small organization, to have volunteers like that can help you in so many different ways. And so we want to recognize Julie for the many, many years of service that she's given to the United Way in Beaver County.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Because again, we go back to what we were saying before. It's a matter of telling stories, and when people think, how can these organizations run? How can these organizations, get where they are without any sustainability? It's these stories of these people putting their effort in to create that sustainability. Through charitable donations and through their hard work.
Absolutely correct. And then last but not least, I think one of the most exciting awards, and you've had them on your show here, is the Cornerstone. Marie Tampano and her team does an unbelievable job, and they're taking on an awesome mission here to build the men's homeless shelter that's going to open this fall. And we haven't had one in Beaver County for several years. It's been definitely a shortcoming of Beaver County not to have a homeless shelter for men. And they want to do more with that homeless shelter, not just to house them at night to sleep. They want to work with those individuals and try to get them back into society and back into a livelihood that is going to be good for them and good for Beaver County. And so we wanted to give them an opportunity to be in front of such a huge audience, which would be one of the biggest ones in Beaver County this year for an event, to tell their story. So we're going to honor the Spotlight Award is going to go to the Cornerstone of Beaver County.
And that's, again, what the Cornerstone has done to just be able to take that mission on and dang near complete it in the amount of time they have, with the amount of work and perseverance that they've had is a special thing. I'm glad they're getting recognized for that. And I'm glad that everybody's getting recognized for all that they're doing because, again, it's a great thing that not just the United Way, but all the organizations underneath the United Way, sort of in that umbrella, get to do on a yearly basis, a day-to-day basis, even really. The recognition dinner coming up is the 7th annual, coming up on June 9th at the club at Shadow Lakes, and the start time is
6 o'clock. And like I said, you still right now get a few tickets on our website. And again, if you can't make the event, but you still want to help your neighbors in Beaver County with a good gift, your money will be counted in this campaign. We haven't had the sign printed yet for our grand total. So if you want to be part of that grand total, go to unitedwaybeaver.org for all the details and to make your donation and to buy your tickets.
And we'll have a link coming up later on this morning at beavercountyray.com. Mike, thank you so much for coming in today. I hope the dinner and the celebration is as blessed and fantastic as you're making it out to be, because it sounds like it's just a great event for everybody involved.
Well, thank you for having me, and always thank you for the continued support to allow us to tell our story
Absolutely.
on Beaver County Radio.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike.
All right, God bless.
Teleforum's next after news here on Beaver County Radio.
Spring is in the air, so put some spring in your step and head out to Al's